using social media as a lead generating machine.
And that social media is a tool for your business.
So let's talk about the second one, strategic referral partners.
What is not enough activity with those leads that they've purchased.
So don't do it unless you're actually going to do it right. I'm David, and this is Elle Denning, and we are two of the three founders of Jumpstart Go, which runs this Facebook group that you guys are watching this in, Marketing for Insurance Agents. And we really created this group as a resource for you guys to connect, find referral partners, ask questions, discussions around the industry, and mastermind, all in a super positive environment of agents that are just looking to grow and really make this a better industry. And then as part of that, we do, like we said, these weekly trainings every Monday as well to try to provide a lot of value there and share some of the knowledge and some of our backgrounds on the marketing side and the growth side there. And then we also get to work directly with hundreds of insurance agents and agencies inside of our programs, the Closers Click, Producers Academy, and Legends, as well as some individual consulting, helping them grow and scale their businesses, which we love, getting the bell ringing for them and seeing them win and scale. And then separate from everything, we do have life insurance agency ourselves that we really enjoy always tested and putting strategies in place on that side too. So we love having you guys here. Welcome. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to be diving into today. So we're going to show you how exactly you can hit your first 10K or even 10K a month, even if you're brand new or currently feeling stuck. So we'll be showing you the top 2 time suckers and profit killers that new agents make when starting out. You seriously need to forget about these ASAP. How to book more appointments and get on more sales calls and close more deals, even if you're just a few weeks into selling insurance. You want to sell more deals, close more. And then why you can add an extra 10K or more to your commissions in the next 90 days or less with this new selling approach that we're going to talk about as well. So say goodbye to getting stuck and hello to 10,000 a month. Every month, the only thing you're missing is the right strategy. So get your pens and notepads ready because this is going to be a training that you'll want to take lots of notes. We always recommend that. So go ahead and grab them. And with that, we're ready to go. Okay, cool. Oh, let's talk about the first thing off the bat with agents and some of the mistakes they make is they focus on the wrong things. And I think we know where the focus goes, money flows, or in this case, doesn't flow, right?
Yeah.
And so we want to make sure if we're going to take our time and focus that we're putting it on the right things. And what we see all the time with new agents and also sometimes not new agents is they're focusing on the wrong things. So Elle, what are some of these wrong things that agents are focusing on that's killing them?
So like David said, this is something that we see all the time. I see this a lot because I come from a graphics and a design background. So I actually get a lot of agents that reach out to me about this specifically. But broad here is we see agents focus on non-revenue generating activities. And we're going to break down some examples of what those look like. And if you've spent time on these things before, don't worry. I think all of us have at some point, but they're good things to just recognize that they're really not going to move the needle that much for you, especially if you're making less than $10,000 a month inside of your insurance business. Just keeping that in mind, these are likely not the things that need to be your primary things that you're focused on. So the first that people reach out to me about a lot and that it doesn't move the needle in their business is going to be company branding in the form of designing a logo, picking out colors, designing business cards. These are things that typically are not revenue generating because they're not actively creating conversations or putting appointments on your calendar. Yes, David.
I would like to point out this is also coming from someone, Elle, who has a design degree and comes from the background of branding and for companies and stuff there. And she is telling you this is not the stuff that's going to help you make your first 10,000 a month. This is not the stuff that off the bat is going to put money in the bank account. Not saying that this stuff is not important at all, ever. Just saying like at the beginning, when you need money coming to the bank account, you need your business growing, and a business that makes no money is not a business, then it's probably not where all your time and attention needs to go.
Yeah, totally. I'm not saying like don't invest in these things at some point in your business, because having a professional brand and a logo and business cards and all of those things can definitely elevate your appearance. And there is definitely value to that. But what we're talking about here, if you're really on a mission to make 10,000 a month or to add 10,000 in commissions to your insurance business, you have to be laser focused, especially if you haven't done this before. You have to be laser focused on the right activities to actually move the needle. And these are things that I think people think are going to help them, but it doesn't move them that much closer to that $10,000 mark. So David, I know you've got a couple too that you hear all the time from agents.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could go on with a lot, but I mean, not only expanding beyond just logos, colors, like, oh man, if the difference between if I pick fire truck red or like, I don't know, colors, another type of red, is that going to make the difference in how many sales I get? Absolutely not. So we don't want to focus too much time on that. But a lot of it comes around analysis paralysis and agents just like getting stuck up on things. We'll talk about that a little bit later of kind of what leads into that. But other things I see off the bat, agents spending all their time getting non-resident license in all the different states before they've even sold their first policy. Not saying it doesn't make sense to pick up sometimes additional states and grow there, but they're focusing on all this preparation without taking action. So, in fact, we'll see agents sometimes get as anal as like, oh, okay, I gotta put together my filing system and how I'm gonna sort and file my emails and all these things. And they're not talking to anybody to have presentations, help to sell them policies, and really anything that's revenue producing. And then they come to the end of the first month and months and like, hey, I don't have any money flowing. I'm in a bad spot now. I have to make something work immediately, rather than off the bat, like, hey, let's start making some sales and helping people.
Yes, they're getting additional state licenses or getting licensed in another line of insurance. Like, oh, well, I haven't started making, sales yet with my life license. Let me go ahead and get my health license. Let me go and get my PNC license. And so instead of just like working with what they've got and focusing, and we are going to talk, somebody asked about what are the right activities.
Yes,
We're absolutely going to talk about what about the right activities are. But like David said, and we wrote this down, you guys, this is like a tongue twister that we wrote down for ourselves here, but perpetual preparation is what we call this. And I totally nailed it. I'm proud of myself there.
I was going to say perpetual perspiration, and I think that's totally different.
That's not right. But this idea of like always, and of course, like you have to, there is some level of setup that you have to do, right? But this idea of like you are perpetually trying to get yourself set up so that you feel ready. The reality is if you don't have momentum in making sales and you haven't really like hit that 10,000 a month yet, or maybe you're working towards that, you're likely not gonna like feel ready. And I think even people that move past that point, there's certain things like, especially if you're starting a new thing, if building a pipeline and working that pipeline is something that you haven't consistently done in the past, then you're gonna probably have some level of avoidance there, because that's just normal. That's human nature. We all deal with that on some level. And so we try to like make ourselves busy with these things that we think are helping us so that we can kind of not do the things that are actually really scary, which at the end of the day is actually talking to people.
100%. Les, you said it right too. Who has been guilty of doing the busy work and the busy things?
Yes,
so you feel like you're being productive, but your bank account's not reflecting it because you're not doing the things that actually produce revenue. I think Elle made a good point there as a part, and also an earlier comment is with the like wanting to feel ready and that sort. And I'll let you guys in on the big secret off the bat that hopefully can help you get faster to results there, is you won't feel ready, and you never will. And I talked to agents that have been in the business for years, maybe even written hundreds of policies, and they still don't always feel ready. They don't always feel confident. It grows a bit over time, but you don't grow that without doing it. The preparation is never going to help you feel completely ready. You're still going to be nervous when you hop on that first call or that first appointment, you meet up with that first strategic referral partner or whatever it is. The thing is, you got to do it. And a great client mentor of ours as well, is like, I owe my success to doing the things I didn't want to do. And those are the things that move forward. We tell our clients the same thing as well. It's getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, because it's those things that are the things that you need to be doing and pushing you forward. How uncomfortable is it to pick out some colors for a logo? It's not very uncomfortable. It's pretty comfortable. I'll go like, hey, let me play around with this design. How uncomfortable is it to pick up the phone, talk to your first person or your first prospect, and actually take them through a presentation? It's nerve-wracking, even if you've done sales before. And so that's the thing, is like, we gotta take the action and move away from getting the office and filing the emails and picking out the right colored pens and sticky notes, and this analysis paralysis of like, oh man, well, what should I focus on first? What should I do? Or I don't know what my day should look like. And the thing, so we never end up taking the action we need to take.
Absolutely. Another one, which I'm a little bit hesitant to throw this one out there, but this is also, especially for if you're not, again, like not doing the consistent 10 figures, or sorry, not 10 figures, that'd be a lot, 10,000 a month in business. Things like, especially like if you're just not routinely having conversations with people and people feel like, oh, I need to get my lead management system. I need to get my CRM system set up. And I'll ask the question like, well, how many like leads are you actually managing? Because if you can really manage them by writing them down on a sheet of paper or in an Excel document, like, is that going to be the thing that scales you up? No, but right now, that's not the best use of your energy and your time is setting up a lead management system if you can write down your leads on a piece of paper. So that's what we want to think about here. David and I are very, very big as far as understanding that your business needs different things at different times. And when you're really working towards making that first 10,000, you got to be focused on the activities that are going to be revenue generating, having those conversations. So David, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, so I want to ask them and then I'll have you answer, what is the number one thing we tell our clients, we tell our agents as far as the activity or metric to track a day, that if they're going to focus on something that can be revenue producing or bring those opportunities, like what is the number one metric or activity any agent, any line of insurance should be focusing on every day? And I think a lot of these can kind of almost be summarized to a metric that no matter which of these you're kind of focusing on comes down to this, right? And there's a lot of methods to make this happen. But overall, I say the most important metric to track a day, no matter your line of insurance, no matter captive independent, no matter if you're doing face-to-face or you're doing telesales or Zoom, is conversations. How many conversations am I having a day? Whether that's leads, social media, strategic referral partners, going out and knocking doors, talking to people at events. I don't really care where the conversations are coming from. I got to be talking to people, because if I'm not talking to people, I can't help someone with a policy. I can't do a presentation. I can't connect with a referral partner to send me clients and referrals over. I can't get referrals from my existing clients. I can't do any of this without conversations. And so I need to be having conversations every day. And I talk to agents all the time. Hey, what happened today? Oh, I got a lot done. Cool. How many people did you talk to? I didn't talk to anybody. I was doing I did a social post and I filed my systems. I did my email. I did a lot. And I was like, you didn't really do anything revenue producing because you didn't talk to anybody. That's the number one metric that I like to track or have people track, because it's true no matter what their main focus is as far as their pipelines is, hey, I've got to be talking to people.
I love that. Yes. And I think if you just start every single day, and if that's your main thing that you're focusing on, it's like, then you can ask yourself the question, what can I do today to, I think somebody put on here to run 10 appointments. That's an amazing metric. If you're trying to run 10 appointments in a day, that's a lot, but maybe at 5, or 3 to 5 appointments that you're really looking to target on a daily basis to make that, one sale a day. Then I'm asking myself the question, what am I doing today so that I am talking to at least 5 people today? And it makes everything a lot easier as far as distilling what you need to do in order to talk to those 5 people. And usually organizing your filing cabinet or unsubscribing from spam emails is not top of the list to make those 5 presentations happen during the day. So.
We're not joking too, people. These are all things that people have told us they've been working on or doing during the days. We're not making these up. Great
We're
question.
not saying that's you guys. So
I'm not saying it's you guys, right? It certainly wouldn't be you guys, not at all. Like I know all of you guys here are doing revenue producing activities every single day and focused on it.
Okay, David. So we won't spend a ton of time on this one, but what's the main thing to like, I also think like when people start filling their time with the non-revenue generating things, why is that? Like, why do they do that?
Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know on that. So what Elle was talking about, okay, why are they doing this? Like, why are they putting this stuff in place? And that comes to our second point is they don't have a plan or a strategy. Okay. And, I feel like a lot of agents, sometimes it's their fault, sometimes it's not, but I feel like a lot of agents, hey, here's a contract, good luck. And so, yeah, maybe it is they don't have really good mentorship, coaching, a great upline, or maybe it is they're just not listening to it and they're like, you know what, I'm going to figure it out myself. Or they just feel like they're kind of flying by the seat of their pants, or they feel like analysis paralysis. Like you said, there's so many things I could be doing. Let me just kind of randomly do things, right? And it's hard when you don't know what you don't know, and you don't have that game plan. Like, it's really hard to execute a plan if you don't have one, right? And I mean, I like to bring a lot of stuff back to sports. My family's a huge sports family. I love sports, live and breathe it, love playing everything. But, hey, you don't go into an important matchup game, especially as a team-based or individual as well, without a game plan, right? Like, if you're going to have an important matchup, you're going to have a game plan of here's what we're going to go out and do and execute, right? And you don't just like, hey, we'll see what happens, we'll just hop in, see how it goes or whatever. You'd be fired in a second if you were a coach. But yeah, so it's the same thing for agents. Like, you just don't hop in like, cool, I want to sell some insurance today. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what that's going to look like or what I need to go do, and expect it to happen, right? And so that's the same thing here, is you've got to have a game plan. I love if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Closers click taught me time blocking. Absolutely. And I think that's a great example of how to take control of your time and have a game plan. But when it comes down to it, I need to know what I'm doing each day and how that is a part of those key activities, like conversations that will result in what my goal is. So I think that's a part of it, is what do I even need to be doing a day? I know I talked about conversations being a great metric, but how many do I need to have a day? Which was a great question I saw in the comments. And what does that look like? And that'll look like something different for different people, also depending on their goals. So I guess the first thing to come down to a plan is, what am I trying to accomplish with my plan, right? If I don't have a goal, then the plan doesn't make any sense, or I even need one because I don't even have a goal that I'm trying to hit. So let's say it's 10,000 a month. That's what we're talking about anyway. So let's start there. Okay, it's 10,000 a month. So I'm going to keep this super simple for people because this could vary significantly between lines of insurance and products. But let's do this. What is my average commission per sale? I don't care AP, carriers, rates, or just like, what is my average commission per sale? And if you're not sure, then ask someone in your line of insurance who sells those type of products, like, to get an average, maybe even specifically within your company or IMO, to get a more accurate one. But find out, what is my average commission per sale? Let's say I'm selling final expense. Let's say it's average of 500 per policy, just to keep something really simple here. Okay, if I want to do 10,000 a month, I need to do 20 sales. Okay, cool. Now I know how many sales I need to do a month. It's math, but I promise, guys, it's not calculus. We can get there. Follow along with me here. And so 20 sales in a month. And so cool. If I break that down by week, how many sales do I need to do a week? And 5 sales a week, so that's 1 sale a day, right? And why I like to have a good daily activity when I'm doing every day, I tend to look at my end goals by at least every week or 2 weeks. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself crazy every day. But if I break it down, that's 1 sale a day. Cool. How many people do I need to talk to, and conversations do I need to have in order to get that 1 sale a day? And we can easily look at this based on, okay, what is my average close rate? And then if I'm like working leads, for example, like, what's my average contact rate to then have the chance to present to then close? And you can back all this all into this or whatever. But if I say, hey, on average, I close 1 out of every 3 people that I talk to and present to. Cool. That means I need to have at least 3 conversations a day to make 1 sale a day on average, to make 5 sales a week, to make 20 sales a month, with average commission of 500 per policy, to make 10,000 a month. And that's how I can back all the way into it. Now, of course, we can get into lead costs, all these other things, but that's a simple way to back it in and have a activity of what I need to hit and goal for each day. So I've got a plan. You guys can run all these numbers yourself, for yourselves. If I lost you on anything, let me know and I can help walk you through that. But this is a great way of, cool, now I know what I need to hit a day. It's much easier to hit that when I know I have to generate at least 3 conversations today. And so where my 3 conversations come from, what activity am I taking to make that happen? And then this is the revenue producing activities that you are doing to have these conversations, to have these presentations, to make these sales, to end up at your end goal during the month. Elle, anything you want to add to that?
No, I love it. I think we might be having some technical difficulties with our broadcast, and they didn't lose you on the math. They lost you potentially on the broadcast freezing.
Hopefully I didn't lose anybody on the math there.
I think think we'll keep on rolling here as far as I see that we still have 32 people on with us. So, but I love it. So David just broke down as far as like really understanding like your average. I think knowing an average commission per sale is super helpful. Even if you are getting paid different commissions off of different products, just averaging that out for yourself and giving yourself real numbers that you know that you can hit. So sometimes thinking about making $10,000 a month in insurance can be really, really overwhelming. But when you back it into the math that David just did, well, it's one sale a day. You know, if you're working Monday through Friday, 5 sales a week, and 3 to 5 conversations per day to get that one sale a week, that one sale a day, 5 sales a week, that becomes way more manageable. So that's the first step right there, is really like knowing your numbers and just taking a little bit of time. And when you start solidifying that and you break it down into a daily goal for yourself, it becomes a lot more manageable. So David, I would love if we could kind of transition the conversation into talking about 3 different strategies that we've seen our clients implement successfully to be able to hit 10,000 in a month and what those look like.
So let's talk about our strategies for helping clients reach 10,000 a month. This is what we're seeing with our clients. They're putting in place to help them be able to do this. Okay. And there's 3 main areas like Elle mentioned. So let's hop straight in. The first one is using social media as a lead generating machine, right? So, oh man, who would have thought that one, right? If you've been around us for more than 2 seconds in this group or working with us, of course, you know that we are huge on social media, the opportunity it brings. And I'm not even talking paid ads. I'm talking just organically on leveraging insurance to grow and scale your business, having people do 30,000 a month, like in life insurance, IUL sales off TikTok for free, people writing 200 to 500,000 in commercial trucking insurance off of Facebook for free. I mean, there's so much opportunities on social, not only for within your local area and community and building and scaling there, of course, but now in today's world for doing that all across the country and really opening up the opportunities there. There's billions of people on social, including your exact market, your exact strategic referral partners, your clients, they're all there. So cool. How do we leverage that? How do we take advantage? And that is something we love about social, especially that it's scalable, it's stackable, it's a strategy that just grows and grows over time with more and more results, with less and less work over time too. Love it. So let's talk about what goes in to using social media a little bit for using it as a lead generating machine. Elle, kick us off. What is some of the first things to do?
I love this. Okay, so social media can totally be in that category of time suck for people that are not using it to generate leads and opportunities for their business. So first step of having success with social media is really training your brain to start realizing that social media is a tool for your business. And when you're getting on social media, it is a revenue generating activity. And we do want to put the little blinders on, and we don't want to get sucked into consuming what is on our feed. We want to be creators. So we want to shift from consumption of content into a creator of content. So that's, I think, one of the biggest shifts there on social media. Brian says, yes, not for the doom scrolling. That's right.
Don't go down the rabbit hole, guys. It doesn't end.
We don't want to get sucked into that. So there are key revenue generating activities that you can accomplish just using social media for about 30 minutes a day. But the first thing is that you want to have an optimized profile. So David and I have done lots of trainings on this. This is something that we work with our clients on very closely to make sure that they're optimizing their profiles. But you want to make sure that people know that you are in the business of selling insurance. So that's the first thing. We see way too many people that you go to their profile, you have no idea what they do or who they help or the benefit of working with them. So that's the very first thing. And then the next thing is that you want to do activity on social media. You scrolling social media is not activity. Okay. So it's like having a pile of leads and not picking up the phone is essentially what it is. Of if you're just scrolling and maybe just kind of like liking here and there on some people's posts, that's not going to be enough. Or just kind of like posting content casually, again, not enough. So you want to be actively sending friend requests. This is absolutely key, so that you're sending friend requests to your target audience and people that would be people that you could do business with. And you want to be actively and intentionally engaging with those people and their content. So that means liking their stuff, commenting on their stuff. And then you also want to be putting out at least a piece of content every single day. You want to make sure, like when you're using social media, that you're bringing in both lifestyle as well as business content together. And all of this works together as an ecosystem for people to really start to know you as a person, because that's how that trust and rapport is going to be built with you, as well as start seeing you as an authority about insurance. So we kind of need both things to happen, which will happen through your content strategy. So biggest thing here is like shift your brain a little bit. If you haven't used social media in the past for your business, that this is a tool for generating leads and opportunities for yourself.
And just to clarify, we're not talking about like sending spammy messages and hitting people in DMs. You keep your opportunities open. Come join my team. Have you considered life insurance? Not talking about any of that. We all know that stuff does not work, does not come across well. It's not effective. There's no value. There's no trust. There's no authority. It's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about all these ineffective ways of using social, which there's the not doing anything on social, like Elle was talking about earlier, and just liking some things. And then there's the exact opposite of just straight up being spammy, providing no value, just trying to immediately sell someone on social, which also is not effective either. So, but when using social media the right way, the right strategies, it can be insanely effective for helping you grow and scale. Don't be a secret agent. So, like Elle said, optimize a profile, let people even know who you are, what you do, and take that same thing to the real world too, outside social. Let people know who you are and what you do, right? Don't be 007 on Facebook or on social, right? So I love it. And so just like if part of my strategies is calling leads and talking to them on the phone, telling me, same thing on social. As I have a strategy of what I'm doing, how that's a part of a strategy, and how that's effective. Be an advertiser, not a spammer. But even then, not even an advertiser. I want to be almost a consultant, someone who brings value, an educator, and someone that is seen as an authority and trust on something. And that's way easier to lead into referrals, strategic referral partners wanting to work with you, reach out to you, and clients coming to you saying, hey, I want you to help me. I want you to help my parents. I want you to help my neighbors and stuff. That's really the side. I'll tell you, the advertising side also isn't very effective either. Love it. Be an educator, not a salesperson. Absolutely. The best sale should be one that just feels educational and like a no-brainer, right? And that's very much the approach that we love. So, okay, Elle, what else?
All right. Well, I'd actually like for you to talk about this one, but thinking about strategic referral partners like a pipeline. So again, what activity, just kind of like we're changing our mindset a little bit around social media. Like social media is a business tool, and we have set activities that we can do every single day on social media that can make those revenue generating. What are those set activities that we can do so that we can start getting referrals from strategic partners, those centers of influence? What are those activities we can be doing every single day?
Love it. And in my opinion, there really is like 3 pipelines that you should have, that you should be constantly paying attention to and working, and they're revenue producing in one way, shape, or the other. The first one's your prospects, of course. We all know that. We all know that should be a pipeline of people I'm talking to, presenting opportunities, helping with insurance. Got it. I think everybody knows that. That's the basic. All right. The second one is what Elle just talked about dive into, is strategic referral partners. I want people that can consistently send me referrals of my exact target audience that want to work with me, that I can solve their problems, that should close at a very high rate, and that I get to help and serve in a value-driven relationship. I'll talk about that in a minute. Not people that hand you a business card that once a year maybe send you someone, if even. I'm talking about strategic referral partners that can send 10, 15, 20 plus deals a month. That's what I'm talking about there. And that's a pipeline, once again, of those, creating those relationships, establishing those, and keeping a really effective ones in place, and so that you have a whole pipeline coming in just from strategic referral partners. partners. And the third one that we're probably not hopping into today, but we popped into before a lot, is a pipeline of my clients. Please don't be the agents that sell a policy and say, peace, you'll never see me again, or that, time to hit them once a year to check in on them forever. There should be also a pipeline for clients. And this is a pipeline for nurturing them, for referral opportunities, retention, and cross-sell opportunities, all within my existing clients that already know me, trust me, and that I'm able to help even more or help those they know even more as well. So that's another pipeline. Those are the three that I think are the most key pipelines to really focus on. So let's talk about the second one, strategic referral partners. What does that even mean? What is a strategic referral partner? Is that like my neighbor? Is that the person that grooms my dog? What is a strategic referral partner? So I'm going to break it down because it's hard to talk about a pipeline for strategic referral partners if you don't even know what that is. So 3 things go into a strategic referral partner, in my opinion. And people are familiar with the first 2. And that's why people are like, ooh, strategic referral partner. That's a real estate agent. That's a doctor. That's a nurse. That's a mortgage loan officer. That's a CPA. That's an accountant. That's a attorney. And there's nothing wrong with those 2. Those 2 meet 2 of the 3 things that I find make really good strategic referral partners. And so that's why they're usually still good with those. And so the first 2 are, they deal with my target audience. Hard to be a strategic referral partner if I don't have anybody that I interact with would actually be your target audience, right? So that's obvious. Like, they got to deal with my target audience at least, a lot, or even primarily prefer. Second is they got to have trust and authority with that target audience. If they deal with that target audience, but that target audience, there's no reason for them to listen to what you say, what you refer, what you recommend, there's no relationship there at all, then it doesn't really matter if they deal with that target audience. The grocery clerk at the store may deal with the target audience, but not many people are going to listen to the grocery clerk on who to go talk to about their insurance, right? Because you have very quick interactions with them. And so the first 2 that I talked about tend to have those first 2 things. They deal with their target audience and they have trust and authority. They tend to lack the third thing, which is they see that target audience regularly and has the opportunity to speak with them at length, which are then the opportunities to send them over as referrals. And so, accountants, CPAs, once a month, maybe once a quarter, maybe even once a year, doctors, nurses, as you go into the doctor nurse, so sometimes not very often at all, loan officers, real estate, when I'm looking to buy or sell a property or whatever. And so it's not constant contact where they have those opportunities. So some of the best ones we saw was like Trista, one of our head coaches and trainers in our program. Her main 2 referral partners would send 50 to 60 referrals a month each, and she closed 90% of them. And they were a hair salon and a nail place. Saw people regularly, had trust and authority with them, got to speak with them 30 minutes to an hour plus at a time. Very easy to send a lot of referrals over due to those 3 things. So we've got plenty of trainings on strategic referral partners and stuff there. So let's talk about, what does a pipeline look like for strategic referral partners? Okay. And so it's the same thing, right? Like, I need to have, who am I going to reach out to and talk to, right? So I need to know who are good strategic referral partners for me. So take those 3 things into account. Let's identify who those are. Cool. Now I need to know who I'm reaching out to and how I'm reaching out to them. Like I said, there's a few different methods. Like, just like with prospects, there's an opportunity of, hey, leads. I'm getting information on people that are maybe even interested. I'm reaching out to them. Cool. I can make a list of people that fall within those, and I can reach out and say hi. And one of the nice things, because usually they run some sort of business or professional, it's a nice and easy conversation to ask, hey, I want to learn some more about your business, talk about, what can bring value to that, learn some more about your target audience, easy conversation, whatever. Or I can be connecting with them through social media, which I love, and Facebook groups. There's some really great ways to leverage that to connect with them. But ultimately, at the end of the day, just like with prospects, I got to have a target amount of conversations on people I'm talking to, and then what those next steps are to lead to that specific strategic referral relationship. So I'm going to have a pipeline in place of people that I need to reach out to talk to, and initially make contact with and start a relationship with. And then, okay, now I need to set up a time to sit down and maybe have a coffee or chat in person or a Zoom call. Okay. And if it's a good fit, there's mutually benefit, then my next step is I need to arrange what that looks like on day to day, month to month, and how we bring value and make this a structured strategic referral relationship, and so on. So that's really having a pipeline for strategic referral partners, just like prospects. Elle, anything you want to hop in and add on that?
No, I think you covered it very thoroughly. And I think this is something that is such a lack in really, I think, education education on for new agents that are just getting started to really understand. I think many agents that we talk to that haven't hit that 10,000 a month yet, they definitely understand the concept and see the value of referral partners, but just really kind of lack that process that you just explained of where to find referral partners, or they're also focusing on really saturated markets for referral partners instead of kind of thinking outside of the box for those relationships. And then they're always like, well, I don't have referrals to send because I'm just getting started. And they try to think about making it a very like transactional sort of exchange, when really the reality is like just having a discovery conversation with potential referral partners and seeing what their needs are in their business and seeing how you might be able to help support them and meet a need provides a ton of value to that person. And then I also just think like when you're thinking about creating this pipeline is like you also want to create for yourself, like I would start with a list of 50 names at least of potential referral partners that you're reaching out to. So in addition to your 30 minutes a day that you're doing on social media, again, strategically, you have a list of potential centers of influence that you're reaching out to and that you're setting up appointments with them to see what type of synergies you might be able to have. And then you're also nurturing those relationships. So setting a goal for yourself, like for the number of people that you're talking to, those presentations that you're doing, set a goal for yourself to talk to at least one potential center of influence every single day. If you do not have that established as far as your pipeline, getting those conversations, setting those metrics, those are important if you really want to build through referrals and word of mouth marketing.
Love it. Perfect. So let's talk about that third thing that we see our clients doing very much to hit the 10,000 months. And so we talked about using social media as a lead generation machine. We talked about thinking of strategic referral partners like pipelines and making those connections and building those up. And the third thing is, are you working leads? And in fact, here I'll talk about paid leads. Now, are we end all be all leads and leads are the only way? Absolutely not. In fact, we've seen a lot of success in these other areas. In fact, even people able to reduce or even eliminate lead spend as those grow. But we are not anti-lead at all. We very much have helped clients grow and scale profitably and increase that side as well, in addition to the others too. So are you working paid leads? And especially if I'm looking for something off the bat that quicker, faster to start to have conversations. I've never done social media before. I don't have referral partners. I need to start building that up. I need to start having conversations now, today, or I want something to fill in gaps of times of the day and week, or I have agents that need people to talk to too. Leads can be a great way to have these conversations. Now, some of that might be changing. Check out our training that we did a few weeks ago on the FCC stuff rolling out. But at the end of the day, there's always going to be people that are interested in something and wanting to reach out and have some help of someone to talk to there. So let's talk about that a little bit. Elle, you want to pop in on that?
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest mistakes that I see agents make that are still kind of like getting their pipelines ramped up, haven't hit that 10,000 a month yet, is if they are purchasing leads, is not enough activity with those leads that they've purchased. So working leads, if you've tuned into any of our content before, you've likely heard us talking about ditching, smiling, and dialing, getting off the leads hamster wheel, because it takes a lot of work to work leads properly and to get results from them, but they absolutely do work. Like paid lead is still a great way to generate business and to hit 10,000 a month in your insurance business. But if you are investing in a paid lead strategy and you're paying a vendor for your leads, definitely, like David said, check out our training about the new regulations rolling out. But do you have a metric of where you're doing 100 dials a day, and you've got metrics in place for yourself that you are getting in touch with people, that you're doing 5 presentations off of those leads? Are you putting enough time and contact attempts into working your leads? There's been tons of studies done. You can even Google them, that your chance of a sale or even getting in touch with someone drastically increases after the 6th contact attempt. So if you are not even attempting to contact your leads at least 6 times, you're leaving a lot of money on the table and losing out on potential sales, because most of your sales are going to come after that 6th contact attempt. So really thinking thinking about, again, everything that we're talking about comes down to activity and having activity metrics in place for yourself so that you're hitting your dial attempts and your contact attempts and you're hitting your number of presentations on a daily basis from the activity that you're doing. David, I know you have a lot of experience with working with paid leads and a lot of agents that are currently working paid leads.
Absolutely. And can they be a really great area of your pipeline to also have, especially if you're looking for kind of a profitable system to also have in place? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, one of the most important things for leads is to know your numbers, which actually, Bill, that was a great question. And I very much look forward to diving into that in a second in the Q&A. I do have a lot of thoughts on that. But knowing your numbers and metrics, because at the end of the day, the nice thing about leads is it's so data and metrics based, is it's a system that tells you exactly what levers you need to pull, what areas of opportunity there are, how you can compare different leads to each other, and all this sort of stuff. Is one of the beautiful things about it is data driven. Now, is it paid? Is it investments? Is the intent different and all this sort of stuff? Absolutely. I'm not, once again, there's pros and cons to everything, but there are some nice things of like, hey, I can know these exact numbers and I can almost systematically know what to expect off of what I'm doing, what these numbers are. And so I do like that. I have a lot of agents of our own even that love working leads and putting those in place, but they have to know, here's my daily goal, here's my metrics I'm shooting for, here's what I know I need to do in order to end up with the results at the end of the day. And it's really, now each day can be very different, but it's almost like every week, every month, you'd be like, man, I know exactly how these stack together to end up with those results. And so I do think if for someone that is very data driven and very focused, there absolutely can be a great area to have as a part of your pipeline. But if you're not going to maximize it, you're not going to put the activity in, you're not going to track it, you're not going to use some level of automation or system, lead management system in place, then yeah, it's almost like lighting money on fire and you're wasting opportunity and time. And don't do it unless you're actually going to do it right. And that's my opinion on that. If you're not going to do it right, then it may not be the best use of your time and efforts, which once again, there's plenty of awesome stuff